Hey,
Hello.
hey.
Hey, this is Dream Idiots. My name is Morris. How are you, Brian?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing well. We are in the post-Christmas malaise here, um, before the new year next week. So we're just kind of taking it easy today.
It's the best part of the holidays is when they're fucking over.
Yeah, I do like that little period of time between Christmas and New Year, though, where it's just it's like the
Right.
old dead days on campus where you're supposed to be studying for your exams, but you
Hmm.
never did.
Right.
Each week, Brian and I tell each other stories or other nonsense like quizzes and various things, and we try to have fun with it. Sometimes we have best of lists. If this is your first time checking in on Dream Idiots, thanks for being here with us. Brian, where can the good folks find us other than the podcatcher of their choice?
Well, we are on pretty much every single podcast platform out there. So if you can give us 5 stars wherever you're listening to us, that'd be great. Shoot us a review. That helps us climb the charts, apparently. You can drop us a line if you want at dreamidiotspodcast@gmail.com. Shoot us a story idea, a curse word, just want to say, hey, that's all good. You can check us out on Facebook and Instagram. We are at Dream Idiots. And then our website is just dreamidiots.com. It's got merch there and got the whole now 130 some odd episodes there for your listening. Um, do I dare say pleasure? Or you're listening, whatever.
What's the opposite of pleasure? Pain? Yes. And it is the final episode of 2024 because this is dropping on New Year's Eve day. So if you're heading out tonight, be careful, have fun, but be careful. Last New Year's, my wife and I went out for the first time in a long time. We went out to a klezmer bar and
Oh, I
listened to
remember
klezmer
that.
music until midnight. That was really fun. I think this month it's going to be falling asleep in front of the TV.
At
So
9:30.
yeah, exactly. Uh, uh, Brian, I mentioned earlier that we occasionally hit each other with quizzes, and I did this, I think, on the last episode of last year. I've got a
Okay.
general knowledge quiz for you
Oh
today,
no.
and this is
Okay.
how this is going to work. Um, I'm going to ask you 12 questions, and you might recall that each question has an answer corresponding to the number of that question. So, question three will have three answers, question four, four answers, so forth and so on. You have 78 base points to work with, and there are scads of bonus points loaded up for you here and there that I will hit you with if you want to earn a little bit more bonus points for the quiz. Try to get to that passing grade of 70. And then there's a surprise twist at the end, which I will
Uh-huh.
get to when we're done taking the quiz. Okay?
Okay. So question one only has one possible right answer. Question two has
Yes.
two
Mhm.
possible right answers. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I
Um,
don't I don't recall that being the format last time, but okay. So I'm with you.
yeah, it was. You hated it. Um, so
That's the
question
goal, right?
one. Question one. Brian, what
Cup or cone?
U.S.
Cup.
What
No.
what U.S. state has the longest uninterrupted record of granting women the right to vote?
What U.S. state has the longest uninterrupted record?
Of granting women the right to vote.
So I would assume that I mean, I guess all states are obviously not. That wasn't I mean, there is the federal amendment granting women the right to vote, but that had to be codified in each state individually before it became law. Is that what you're implying?
Oh, we're going back before that. Yeah, you're talking
Oh,
about the
back before
the
that,
the yeah,
well, the
because
state
that was what 1920 was the was the
2021. Yeah, it
yeah.
was the
Okay.
21st, 22nd Amendment. What state has the longest uninterrupted? Well, it's not going to be in the South. So I'm going to suggest it was Massachusetts.
Ryan, the answer is Wyoming.
Wow. Okay.
Wyoming has had the longest interrupted record of granting women the right to vote. The reason I didn't say what was the first state, because the first state was actually New Jersey, but then that was rescinded in 1807
Right.
because I don't know,
Yeah,
dickheadishness.
because
I have no idea.
right, dames.
Okay, number two.
Uh
Creedence Clearwater Revival never had a number one Billboard hit in the US.
huh.
They did, however, have five number two hits. Give me two of those songs, and you'll get bonus points if you can name more than two. And I'll even throw in bonus points if you can name some B sides that are in there as well. And
So
there are one, two, three B sides. So we're looking for 8 possible answers to get you 2 stinking points.
um, is Fortunate Son theirs? No.
Yeah, Fortunate Son is theirs, but it was only a number 3 hit.
Okay. Um, Up on Cripple Creek.
That's the band. Nice try.
Well, that's not a song too.
It's a song, but it's the band.
Okay. Proud Mary.
Proud Mary is one of them. Very good, Brian.
Oh man. Um, yeah, this is one of those things. I mean, you and friend of the pod Marvin, you and your music knowledge just way crazy ass exceed mine. That's probably all I can come up with. I don't really know their stuff that well. I mean, I'm sure I'd
Oh,
recognize 50 songs, but I can't think of the titles.
wow. You whiffed this one, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
The answers are Proud Mary, Bad Moon Rising, Looking Out My Back Door, Green River, and Traveling Band. The B sides were
Hmm.
Long as I Can See the Light, Who'll Stop the Rain, Run Through the Jungle. But still, you got a point. That's good. Brian, name the three
Failure,
aspects.
failure is assured.
Name the three aspects of the Holy Trinity.
Three aspects:
Yeah, what are the three
Father,
components of the
Son, and
Holy
Holy Ghost. Right.
Trinity? Yep, I wrote Holy Spirit, but I will take Holy Ghost. Good.
The
That's
Holy
3 points.
Spigot.
Brian, let's stay on that biblical theme. Can you name the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse?
No. Gluttony, greed. No, I genuinely can't.
I'm waiting for the punchline. Seriously?
No, there's no answer.
Brian. Okay, I'm going to throw this bonus point out to you
Groucho, Harpo.
because they're they're 4 horsemen. Can you at least name the colors of their horses?
No.
Give it a shot.
Red, black,
Yes.
white,
Yes. Yes,
green.
red, black, and
No.
white. Yes, I will take green. Holy shit, you managed to
The
get 4
names
points.
of um
War
or
rides the red horse.
okay.
So do you want to try to guess the other 3? I gave you war. War rides the red horse.
Um Fear,
Nope.
greed,
Nope.
or I don't know. No idea.
You did go to church as a kid, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
none of it stuck.
War, war rides the red horse. Famine rides the black horse.
Okay.
And then pestilence or sometimes conquest rides the white horse. And
Hmm.
then, of course, he who sat upon the pale horse was death. And you wonder what's a pale horse? Well, sometimes it's referred to as the ashen color, but it could be considered green or greenish yellow for the horse's coat color.
Hmm.
And that
Okay.
comes from the Latin pallidus. That's where you get the word pale, which I did not know. So
Hmm.
I learned something today. I'm still going to give you 3 points.
Okay.
3 points for that. That's good. 3 out of 4. Brian, name the 5 longest rivers in the world.
Five longest rivers in the world. Um, how many guesses do I get?
No, I don't know. Just keep going. I'll stop you when it gets too much.
So Amazon and Nile are definitely 2 of them.
Yep.
I want to say there's one in China. Is it the Yangtze River, maybe?
It is the Yangtze River. Very good.
I don't think either of the Tigris and the Euphrates are not. I know where they are. I can find them on the map, but they're not that long. I'm trying to think of other long rivers. Um, Anything in Europe? The Rhine or the Hudson River couldn't be that long.
Mm-mm.
No.
Yeah, I'll give you 3 more
Saint
guesses.
Lawrence River,
Nope.
Rio Grande,
No.
Colorado.
Nope.
Then
That's it. You got
I'm
3 of
out.
the 5. The Nile, the Amazon, and the Yangtze. You got the Mississippi River, Brian.
Oh shit! How
And
stupid.
then I got 4 out of the 5. I did not get this one through Russia. The Yenisei River or
Right.
Yenisei
Yeah.
River. which
Right.
I'd never heard of. So that's one, two, three more points. Bryan, one of your favorite bands is REM.
Hmm.
Name six of their albums. You can do this. I know you can do this.
Automatic for the people.
Very good.
Document.
Yes.
Murmur.
Yes.
Is it eponymous, eponymous, eponymous? The word always seems
I'll,
weird to me.
Eponymous. I'll give you that one. That's the greatest hits, but I'll give you that
Okay.
one.
Um, Trying to think of the one that fuck, that Shiny Happy People is on.
Tiny slapping people. That's what I called it.
And then, God damn it. So Murmur was the one that I was on my heavy rotation when I got that on shit, probably cassette. I listened to that thing until it wouldn't play anymore. Um, Life Search Pageant
Yes.
and fuck, what came after that? Huh.
Well, document came after that. So
Well, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think of the earlier ones. I think that might be all I've got.
I was going to give you a bonus point for each additional one you could name. So you're done?
Yeah.
Throwing in the towel? You mentioned Murmur, Eponymous, which I didn't have on my list, but I'll take it. Life Search Pageant, Document, Automatic for the People. You missed out on Reckoning, their second album. Fables
Mm.
of the Reconstruction. Green, how you missed Green is beyond me.
Green. Fuck.
And then the one you were looking for. All right, wait. Let me, okay. Um, and then Out of Time was the Heine slapping people one
Oh
you were
yeah.
looking
Okay.
for. There's also Up, New Adventures in Hi-Fi, but I really stopped listening after that. At that
Yeah.
point, Monster was the one that really sent
Like
me out of the
never mind.
orbit. Yeah. Yep. All right, Bryan. Question 7. Bryan, name the seven dwarves.
Jermaine, Tito. No. Bashful, Sleepy, Doc, Sneezy. Fuck a doc. Um, is one just happy?
Yep.
Okay. Um,
That's where the Rolling Stones got the name for that song. Need your love to make me happy. It's a reference to the Seven Dwarfs.
oh,
No, I'm bullshitting you. It's not.
that's what I figured. I wasn't calling you on it. So that's five. Fuck. That's all I got.
You sure?
Hmm.
Okay. The other two are Tito and Jermaine. No. Dopey and Grumpy were the ones you were
Oh
missing.
fuck. How I forgot Dopey. Come on.
Okay. You're rolling here, buddy. Bryan.
I've modeled my life on Dopey. I mean, come on.
Bryan, you're gonna friggin' hate this next one. Bryan, 8 US states start with the letter M, as in Morris. Name them.
8 U.S. states.
Mhm.
Um, okay. I can probably do that.
Okay.
Montana,
Yep.
Mississippi,
Yep.
Missouri,
Yep.
Michigan,
Yep.
Moo, Mexico. No. Um,
That's 4.
there are 8 U.S. states.
Mm-hmm.
Massachusetts,
Yep.
Maine.
Yep.
How many are left? Two. I need two more.
2 more.
Hmm.
8 US states starting with the letter M.
Nebraska. No,
10 seconds.
no, they're not. They're just six. I've named them all. Minnesota.
There you go.
And
Three,
I'm scrolling up and
two,
down.
1. You got 7 out of 8. Maryland.
Maryland. Yeah, a very
Eh?
forgettable state.
Oh, okay. Bryan, let's turn to politics because my God, I haven't done that since, I don't know, early November. Name the 9 current Supreme Court justices.
Fuck. So let's get through the fucktards first. So Chief Justice John Roberts,
Okay.
Kent Gorsuch, the frat boy, the beer stein, the walking beer stein that is Brett Kavanaugh, Samuel Alito,
Mhm.
walking fungus that is Samuel Alito, Clarence Thomas,
Okay, good.
Elena Kagan,
Hmm.
Sotomayor,
Hmm.
um,
That's 7.
the new one is latest one. Just Jackson Lee or I'm spacing on her name. It's not Lee.
No, it is not Lee.
Oh, I'm thinking of Sheila Jackson Lee. Um, I'll see if I can come back to that one.
Okay.
Oh, and then yeah, the fucking doily, the right wing doily, that stupid cunt.
Shit.
Um, God, what yeah, what a worthless Coney Barrett.
There you
Uh,
go.
yeah,
8 for
she's
9 so far.
useless human being. Yeah, shit, I feel bad. So it's the latest edition is the one I failed to come up with.
Okay, well, that is Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Damn it.
Yeah, that's still 8. And you have a bonus point coming. Bryan, what is John Roberts' official title?
Chief Justice of the United of the Supreme Court. No, John Roberts.
What's your final answer?
What's his official title?
His official title. And
Justice
it's not.
Roberts. No,
No. Mm-mm. You were fishing around the right waters.
groom of the stool. I
You had it and then you tossed it away. It was Chief Justice of the United States is his official title, not Chief
oh
Justice of the Supreme Court. Bryan, you're either going to love this one or really hate it. 10 NFL franchises account for 43 of the 58 Super Bowl champions. So just 10 teams have won 43 of the Super Bowls.
okay
Each of these teams has won at least 3 Super Bowls each.
okay.
Name these 10 teams for bonus points. Name each number of Super Bowls they have won.
Well, I won't know the total number of Super Bowls, but I can probably give you all
Okay.
the teams. I think.
So 10 teams that have won at least 3 Super Bowls each.
Well, the obvious one is the Cowboys to start
Mm-hmm.
with.
Yep.
49ers.
Yep.
Um, the Washington Commanders, the Redskins.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say have the Rams won three or just two?
They have not.
They've not. Um, Vikings no, Bears no, Browns no, Bengals no, Packers.
Packers, that is correct.
Um, Chiefs obviously yes. Patriots obviously yes.
Okay. 10 seconds.
Giants,
The Giants. 5 seconds.
Ravens.
2, 1. Pittsburgh.
Fuck. Yep.
Denver
Yep.
and
Shit.
the Raiders. The
Yep.
Raiders. Now, do you want to take a stab at any of their numbers or no?
Cowboys is 3, Chiefs is 4, Patriots is 7, 6. Patriots is 6.
Six. I'll take that. Yeah, you can't guess on Pittsburgh, Denver, and Oakland, so you can guess on the rest of them though. How many do you think?
Giants is shoot, Giants is 4.
Giants is four. That is correct.
Um,
San Francisco,
shoot, San Francisco. They've been to the NFC Championship game like seemingly every year for the last 25 years. It seems like. I'm gonna say 5, 4,
five. Very good.
5. Okay.
Green Bay,
4.
very good. And finally, Washington.
3.
You got all of those right except for Dallas. Dallas has won five, Brian.
Obviously, yeah. I was just thinking about the three together.
One,
Uh,
two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You got 13 points on that, dude.
he's coming back.
11. Brian, name as many of the 11 extant countries, not territories, that start with the letter G, as in goddamn, I hate these quizzes. G.
Oh. This is just riveting listening, I'm sure. Sure. Listening to Brian's brain turn into a pretzel. 11 countries that
Mhm.
begin with G, and Guam is not one of them.
Guam is not very good.
Right, because we've covered that.
Mhm.
Um, so Guatemala.
Yes,
Um, I want to say that both Ghana and Guyana are two different countries.
they are. Ghana and Guyana. Very good. In fact, they're in different parts of the world.
Right. Other G countries. Ireland, no. Um, I haven't run out already, have I?
You're at three. Got eight to go. I'll just keep talking so there's no dead air.
Gambia?
Gambia or the Gambia, but I'll take Gambia.
Okay. Other G countries. Fuck.
hmm
I don't think if there are any, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, none of those are G's, I don't think.
You're missing at least two huge ones.
Two huge ones. Greenland? Is that a country?
Greenland is a territory.
Oh, it's a Dutch territory, right? But we're taking it back, damn it. Um,
It's Danish. It's a Danish territory.
that's what I said.
Denmark. You said the Dutch.
Oh,
Dutch are
fine,
from the Netherlands.
fine, Captain Pedantic. Okay, fine. Uh, G countries. Shit.
You've got
Yeah.
three left in Africa. I'll give you that hint. The rest are elsewhere. And you already got the Gambia, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I get the random
And the way you
straggers.
knocked Ghana and Guyana out at the same time, that was a nice 1-2 punch.
Yeah, I give up. Fuck, my brain hurts.
Gabon,
Okay.
Georgia,
Oh, shit, yeah, okay. I was thinking there's one over there near Turkey, a former province of Russian province. Yeah.
Germany.
Fuck.
You said Ghana, Greece,
Okay.
Grenada,
I was tracking. Oh God, what a dumbass.
Grenada, and then Guinea and Guinea-Bissau, which are in Africa. So you got Bryan. You wow,
I got
four.
the random weird ones, but I've glossed over Greece and Germany. Okay, well done.
Yeah, those are pretty big in the terms of like
Yeah, in terms
history and
of
shit.
human history. Right?
Bryan, here's your final question, and you have a chance to earn 12 points plus a couple of bonus points. So up to 14 on this. Bryan, name
Okay,
the 12 signs of the zodiac.
Cunnilingus. No, Aries, Pisces,
Yes.
Taurus,
Mm-hmm.
Capricorn,
Yep.
Virgo,
Mm-hmm. What are you?
Li Pisces, Libra,
Mm-hmm. Two, three,
Sagittarius.
four.
I'm,
That's
I'm either
seven.
I'm saying yeah, either seven or eight. Um, I said Taurus, said Libra. Shit. That might be all I've got. I'm not picking up what you're putting
Okay.
down.
So you got seven of them. You missed Aquarius. I was humming the age of Aquarius there. Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and Scorpio.
Didn't I say Aquarius? I thought I said Aquarius, but
Did you
who knows?
say Aquarius? I'll give it to
So
you. I'll say you said it.
I thought I said Aquarius first because Aquarius is before I think it's before Pisces. I think.
I'll just listen to the episode and
Okay,
dock you if
maybe
you
I'm
do.
lying.
Now,
I'll be debited in a later episode.
there have been a few proposed additional signs. This is true. People have proposed there be a 13th sign because
Mhm.
it's
Yeah, I've
better
read.
divisible
Yeah,
into, right. Can you name any of these? I've got two big ones right here. Can you name any of the proposed replace
no.
or 13th zodiac signs? You
There,
sure?
there was some video I saw or something I saw online that also said that I mean obviously astrology is unmitigated horseshit to begin with, but it's doubly horseshit because of how things have evolved over time and how I don't know how the Earth now is in space
Constellations
versus
change. Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
And
The
so
other two,
me thinking I'm a Pisces is complete nonsense.
the other two, or Orphagus the serpent bearer, Orphagus. I think that's how it's pronounced. Spell Orphiuchus. I think that's Orphagus is the way they have it down here.
That's my middle name. Yeah, I know.
And well, here's your. I think this is your brother's middle name, Cetus the whale. Cetus.
It's a good old Cetus.
Yeah, Cetus. Not quite Cletus. Okay, so those are the other two. So let's see how you did, Bryan. Looks to me like you got let's see, 8 here, 12, 25, 33, 40, 41, 44, 47, 50, and I've
Fuck.
got 60 for you here.
Mm-hmm.
You get any bonus points? Uh, 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 I don't think you get many bonus points. Well, I'm going to give you that Chief Justice of the Supreme Court for a total of 61, Bryan.
Yeah.
Now, I sent you earlier
Mm-hmm.
a email. Please open that up, and there's a PDF in there for you because there's a twist to this quiz. There's hidden bonus points, Bryan,
Oh,
that
okay.
you didn't know about. Did you
Do,
open it
do,
up?
do not open yet. This PDF.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bryan, you'll notice that these are in red. So,
Uh-huh.
you want to read those out? I've got three general bonus points there that
Uh, a, a, bo- a bonus point if he says "fuck you" or tells me to go fuck myself during the quiz. A bonus point if he says "I hate this." A bonus point if he hums the Jeopardy theme song. which I
So
did
I
once actually.
you did. I don't think you use the F word a lot, but I don't think you specifically told me to use that
Right.
verb.
Okay.
Okay. Um, number okay. What's the next one? I had a hidden bonus point for number three.
Three aspects of the Holy Trinity. One bonus point each if he names the Three Stooges or Donald Duck's nephews, which I did not do.
Yeah, I was thinking you were going to do that. Okay. Number six. That was the REM question.
Bonus point if he mentions how Automatic for the People sucked or how great Murmur was. So I get a point for that.
You did because you mentioned Murmur.
Right, right,
No. The bonus point is if he mentions how REM sucked after Automatic for the People,
right,
because
right, right.
yeah, okay. So there's a bonus point. Um, I also put down for number seven. What was number seven? That was named the Seven Dwarves.
Seven dwarves and
Mhm.
a bonus point for every gross one he names.
I figured you would come out with Runny or Crabby or Scabby, but you didn't.
Right.
You said Tito and Jermaine, so I'll leave that one alone. Bryan, number eight about the U.S. states. What does that bonus point segment read?
Eight U.S. states with that each begin with letter M. One bonus point per derogatory statement for any of the states he missed.
And you did say Maryland,
When
there's
Maryland
nothing
sucks,
much to
right?
it.
Right,
That's
right.
right. Okay. Let's go down to number 11. Name
So
as many of the
11 countries that begin with G. Bonus point if he argues about Greenland.
Yeah, I'm counting that one.
uh,
Bonus point if you for number 12. What was number 12? That was the astrology question.
Astrology. Bonus point if he rags on astrology or if he uses a gross example.
Both of which you did.
uh
Okay. Now let's add those up. I've
I'm
got one.
utterly predictable.
Well, no, actually, you did quite well because I really thought that there was going to be more than this. Because here's what we're going to do: these bonus points aren't for you; they're for me.
Oh,
So we're going to tally this up and then subtract it from your score to give you the true score of your test. One, two, three, four,
so
five,
it's like 52 now.
six. Nope, you got a 55, Bryan. Congratulations, because I'm whacking off. I am taking off 6 points for my predictive one. So not as predictive because I think I had 13 total bonus points for me. So
Hmm.
you did better than you thought you did, and then you didn't do
Fuck
as
you.
bad as you thought you. Oh, all right. I'm taking that one too then. No, I won't take that one because that was after the fact. So, Bryan, with my new hidden twist, you got a 55,
Okay.
which is not it's not good.
Oh, damn it. Oh well.
And in all fairness, on the 11 extant countries, I think I only got like six,
Yeah, but
maybe
I'm
seven.
sure you got Germany and Greece for fuck's sake.
All right, that's the end of your quiz with hidden
Okay.
bonus points for you, Bryan. Thanks for
Okay.
playing along.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh no. Thank you. All right.
Excuse me.
Are you ready?
I am ready. I've been ready since about question four on the quiz. So,
Okay. So, what's the difference between this is the curse word, by the way,
mhm.
glamping and glomping? GLOMP. Do you know what glomping
uh,
is?
I know what glamping is. That is where you go camping, but you have high end equipment, or you just
Right,
go
right,
hiking for the day and go stay in a nice hotel. Yeah.
right. The hiking with the RV with the queen size bed and the hair dryer and the full size stove. Yeah.
Mhm.
Glomping is the basically the practice of aggressively hugging someone that you haven't seen for a long period of time to the point where it's almost a physical assault. So it's happens in baggage claim. The long lost so and so comes back from a long period of time, and there is bodily harm because of the collision. I sort of imagine your dogs, for instance, when your wife comes back from a trip, they may well engage in glomping
When
because
she comes home
of
from
excitement.
work, they engage in
Right.
glomping. If she's been gone
So
for an hour, they engage in that. Yeah.
yes. So glamping versus glomping. You can do both, but of the two, glomping is probably better.
Is it?
Mm,
There's something nice about going back to a hotel and taking a shower.
that's true. Letting the trail run off of you into the drain, right?
I wasn't into the whole glamping thing until Anna said, "Let's not let's not do this. Let's go to hotel. It's like, okay, all right, sure.
Works for me. All right, so I texted you
Oh, that's right. You
a
did.
photo to look at, and you can just look at that and reserve comment for the time being, and I'll start my little story here.
Sweet zombie Jesus. Um,
Okay, do you want to
all
describe
right.
that at least briefly? Do you recognize what that is? Who that is?
If I had to guess, it's either okay, it's what it is there's a bunch of fellas in the back. It's a black and white photo, and they're all pretty much white men on parade. They've got the short, close cropped hair. They're all grinning, kind of almost maniacally.
Hmm.
And I'm guessing there's someone or something. They're standing behind a giant owl.
Hmm.
It's a statue or a costume. If I had to guess, maybe either Woodsy the Owl from the campaign for like the environment from the 70s, or the very first Rice mascot. That's the only thing I can think of. The Rice
Hmm.
Owls. That's the only thing I can think of. Um,
Hmm. Well, we'll see if you're right.
I doubt I am. After what I just did to you on the quiz,
No, actually,
I don't.
you're spot on. Correct, actually. Good old Rice.
Okay.
That is the Rice Owl, and the people pictured behind the Rice Owl there are all current students of Texas A&M University, and we'll explain that in this week's story. So, just a tiny bit of geography
Oh.
here. Rice University, as you and I know, but other folks may not know, is in Houston, Texas. Texas A&M is in the Bryan College Station area in Texas. It's almost exactly 100 miles door to door
And you're
from
named
what
after Bryan, Texas, right?
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I'm not. Nope. And pretty much the only way to get from one to the other at any point in the last 100 years is to go through, you have to go through the town of Navasota, which is about 30 miles from the A&M campus. So that little geography there is going to be helpful later on as we dive into this
I
story.
also noticed two things real quick.
Hmm.
There's some kind of sword hanging off the owl, and there's a gun next to him.
Explain that too.
Okay.
Okay. So, 16th of January, 1917, going back a
Holy
ways.
shit. Yep.
Texas A&M, so World War One era. Texas A&M defeats Rice in a game of basketball. Final score was 21-13. It was a defensive gem. They played the game at the Houston City Auditorium to gave the Aggies their first win over Rice in any sport in 3 years. So this is back in the day. This is before Rice was called Rice University. It was just called Rice Institute at the time, and it was so new. I think Rice had just opened, in the prior decade. It was pretty new, and they had no athletic facilities on campus at all. So that's why they're using basically a shared city facility somewhere else in town. So as the they're Aggie players, students, alumni there as well. The Aggies realized that the Rice folks had left their mascot, a man-sized canvas owl stuffed with sawdust. Pictured there in that picture you're looking at is there in the auditorium unattended. Percy Thompson, class of 17, and Sidney Mitchell, class of 18, basically gathered their corpsmen and they hatched a sneaky little plan. First of all, they inducted the owl into the Corps of Cadets, which is why you see that
Ah.
the sword there, and they bestowed the rank of general on the owl. And the group of men hoisted the nearly 200-pound bird
Dear
overhead
God.
and started to lug him out of the building, or at least they tried to. In my mind, the part of the security guard in this story is played by Don Knotts. So, security guard asks him, "What are they doing?" Percy looks at Sydney and says, "I don't know. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing, Sydney?" Sydney, quick as a whip, says, "Oh, we are. What are we? We are being helpful. We're taking the Rice Owl back to the Rice campus for them. We're doing them a favor." And the guard goes, "Okay, you can go," and he lets them pass. They get outside, get the bird into their car. They drive the mascot to the nearest train station and they ship him to College Station, care of Wells Fargo. They must have called one of their buddies, a kid named Denning, to go pick him up. So, so far, so this is looking to be incredibly stupid, right? So, to put this in modern terms, let's just pretend that you and I are students at Trinity in present day, and let's just
Mhm.
say you look down randomly one day at your phone and you see a text message from me that says, quote, a couple of us are up here at the UTSA campus. We have stolen the UTSA Roadrunner. It's 6 feet tall and weighs 200 pounds. It's in a ride share to you. Will you hold on to him for me? That's basically what's being offered up here. And of course, your response would be, no, no, don't not put him back. You can't do that. Don't steal the mascot. I will not accept your
Who are you? What is this?
right,
Crank
right,
call, and then hang
right,
up.
right. Unsubscribe, spam, whatever. So they throw the owl onto a train by itself, and it takes the ride up to College Station. So Denning's been warned that the owl is on the way. A couple other Aggies that go and collect the owl, and they welcome the owl to campus with all the respect due its rank. It's General Owl, right? From the station, they go to Denning's room in Milner Hall, and the owl receives visitors for the rest of the night. The next day, the owl serves as general in chapel, attends science lectures, is rever- is reviewed by members of the Corps of Cadets as they march to evening chow. To all the cadets, this was just basically a ton of fun, and they're having a blast poking fun of their rival. The Battalion is the A&M student newspaper. I think it's still called that to this day. And they're quick to print a challenge that says, "quote If Rice wishes to claim their bird and ever think they're going to take him safely back to the institute, they can find him at 37 Milner Hall, College Station, Texas." So Rice then pretty much makes the biggest mistake they can right out of the gate. They deny this is a story. They deny that this theft has happened, and quickly make a new one that's identical because it's basically 200 pounds of sawdust, a couple postal bags. I don't know. It's not a hard thing to make. So they make a new one and say, no, the A&M's being, there's being, it's a joke. They're just being shitty. Ignore them. The Aggie said, "Oh no, we definitely have it." And not only that, we're gonna hold on to him, and then we're gonna bring him to Houston for the parade prior to prior to A&M's football game against Rice that fall. So like 9 months away. They're already plotting this. So this is again kind of ridiculous hijinks, and the level of they're behaving like there's way more at stake here than there really is. This is not like you didn't just steal a Renoir from a museum. You didn't just swipe millions of dollars. This is a bag of sawdust. But as we'll see, this gets incredibly serious over something that's very very stupid. 13 guys who are from Rice resolve. They are committed to the fact that the owl needs to be rescued, and so they form a group, which they lovingly refer to as the Owl Protective Association, the OPA. So January 19th, 2 days later, the OPA hire a detective. Like, what the? Okay, hire a detective, and they send this guy to College Station to try to find the owl. And again, this is 1917. This guy is supposed to send a telegraph to them when he's successful and he figures out at least the building or the general location or whatever news he gets. But the
This is
OPA,
bullshit. Stop.
right,
Bring me
right.
home. Stop. You're all goddamn idiots. Stop.
But they don't. They hear nothing from him. At least not from him quickly. The OPA again. This is 13 guys. They gather up some army uniforms that they had. A couple of them had been had transferred. They're transfer students, so had uniforms left over from when they were students. And all of them drive up to College Station to try to find the detective and then hopefully find the owl. So
So the disguised as cadets, basically from A&M. Is that
yeah, basically, so,
okay?
so they
Okay,
they have
gotcha.
some uniforms. I think they only have like maybe maybe two or three uniforms is all. So OPA, I mean, they do this in the middle of the night. So they arrive there at 1:30 in the morning in a rainstorm. Meet the detective. He hasn't found anything, and so the OPA, all these guys spread out across the campus. The A&M campus now is vast. I think it's somewhat bigger than the UT campus. Um, three of them are found inside some building by a night watchman who asks them, "Why are you here? It's 2 o'clock in the morning." And they again, all the security and watchmen in this story, they're all it's the Keystone Cops. They go, oh, we're here. We were why are we here? We're here because we're a fish, and some seniors locked us in here and told us we couldn't come out before 3 a.m. Yeah, oh, okay, fine. He wanders off. He buys a lie and leaves them alone. Still, no mascot to be found anywhere. Um, the only buildings, I mean, they managed to search kind of the academic buildings. Somehow they get in, even though it's the middle of the night. They had not searched dormitories. So they kind of moved to a new plan, and they put these army uniforms to use. So they kind of split up into a couple different groups and donned the uniforms. And I judge that some of the dorms, if you were on a second floor or above, you had to go inside, and then your front door to your dorm room entered into a hallway, maybe, because in the middle of the night, they're able to go through and basically do makeshift inspections, of every single room, but only the dorm rooms that are on the ground floor. I think because they opened the outside, so it's just military bullshit, right? They come in, toss the room, yell and scream, but they search every single first floor dormitory. Still no sign of the owl. So they've now spent many hours there. They head back to Houston, arrive in the afternoon of the 21st. They spend a few days, discussing, planning, trying to figure out what the next step is. At this point, they actually hire a new detective. For some reason, this guy's code name is Snowball. No idea why. That's not even mentioned. But he is Detective Snowball. Snowball drives to A&M just a few days later on the 29th. And he actually has a pretty clever idea to figure out what's going on. He shows up on campus and pretends to be a Houston reporter trying to find out the real story about the owl. And I mean, I'm sure he has the Trilby hat and he's going by Scoops McLean or whatever, right? But he's able to figure out pretty quickly. I mean, finds a couple of the guys that were involved in it, and within just a few hours, he knows where the hiding place is. And these guys actually show Snowball the owl. Yeah, here he is. And then Snowball sends a telegram back to the OPA guys in Houston. The telegram says, quote, Sammy is fairly well and would like to see his parents at 11 o'clock. Again, this cloak and dagger ossitude crap, like it's just a fucking burlap sack. But that's why Rice's mascot has been known as Sammy ever since, was because of this detective. He wasn't. That's where Sammy came from. So all these guys round up again. They add four more to their team. So now accounts vary a little bit. I think the total head count making the drive back to College Station is 17 guys. They again arrive in the middle of the fucking night, 11:30 p.m. in three vehicles. They're in two Fords and a Hudson Super 6. So Snowball greets them and says, "Yep, we found Sammy. Know where Sammy is. Sammy's in the third floor of the most secure building on the entire A&M campus, the Armory building. Why? Why A&M would need an? I don't know what that even really means. Um, but
Probably for all the cadet weapons, right?
maybe so. But so it's a fairly secure building. So the OPA drive over. In the notes, I couldn't quite figure out why this was done. their sort of base of operations for this little scam is Kyle Field, which is their football stadium. Obviously, Field now is a mammoth structure that
Mhm.
seats whatever 80,000 people. Here, I mean, it may have seriously just been an empty field. I don't really know, but that's where they decide it's okay to be, and no one will think anything of about some random guys being at the field, in basically the middle of the night. So that's kind of their base camp. That's where their vehicles are. So four of these guys, Fullweiler, Billups, Moore, and Waters. And Waters winds up sort of being one of our main heroes. They volunteer. We're gonna go wander up. We're,
Heroes.
we're gonna scout this building out and figure out what's going on. Billups hides outside the building, and he's kind of line of sight back down to Kyle Field, which is Kyle Field is on the sort of southwest side of campus, so he can be, maybe he has a flashlight or something. I don't know. But Moore, Fullweiler, and Waters manage to get into the building on the main floor, and they actually climb the three flights of stairs up to where the armory is located. All they brought with them, though, is knives and a couple things to try to get through the door. But it's a fucking armory, and but their noise, even though they're trying to be quiet, there is security, there are night watchmen, and one of the night watchmen outside, is hears the noise and comes that way. Waters spots this watchman hurrying, spies out a window, sees him coming, and he manages to climb out a third story window. And again, the details here are a little bit peculiar. It's hard to understand exactly how he did this, but again, very very Keystone Cops. So he climbs out a window and he's on some sort of ledge. There's some sort of structure. Maybe I don't know if there's ivy. I don't know what the hell's on the side of this building, but he makes a point of climbing out basically in full sight of the watchman. Manages to scamper down in this kind of parkour style, I guess, and then he makes a point of the watchman sees him, and then he takes off running, and the watchman chases him, and he vanishes into the campus. But he's apparently a very adept runner, and he's a good athlete in great shape. He ditches the watchman and manages to sneak back to the armory, and the watchman is lost somewhere else on campus. When Water comes back, right when he runs up, he discovers that there are two watchmen that shown up while he was gone that have now entered the armory building. Again, I don't. It's unclear from the details how he knows this. Whether he sees them go in right when he's coming back, or he sees something in the windows. It's in the middle of the night, and this is way before things would be as well lit as they are now, right? So I assume this is pitch black, but somehow he is aware of the fact that there are more watchmen in the building, and three of his friends are in there. Excuse me, two of his friends are in there. And so he's just kind of hanging out outside for about 20 minutes going, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck. Eventually, Fullweiler inside is spotted by one of the watchmen. Fullweiler manages to find an alternate way down, comes outside, and basically runs chest first into Waters outside in the black and darkness, right? And Waters is like, oh great, more fucking running. So because the guards now have come out chasing after Fullweiler, and so the two of them, Fullweiler and Waters, now are now engaged in a second sprint, and the two guards are chasing them. They chase them all the way to the nearest train depot, which is over a mile away.
Good
But
Lord.
Fullweiler and Waters lose the watchman somehow in the inky darkness of College Station, and lose them and manage to head back to campus again. So when they get back to campus, Fullweiler heads back to the armory. Waters goes to Kyle Field to check on what everyone else is doing. Waters presumably is completely gassed because he's been running around in pitch black in January, so he's wiped out all this
Got a
time.
stitch. He's got a stitch in his side, and it hurts to breathe in the cold air.
What? Where's Sammy? And so Mora now is in the armory building by himself. He's managed to find a crowbar, and he's still trying to get in. But now even he is spotted by a watchman just as Fullweiler comes back. So Mora now takes off, also manages to lose his pursuer outside of campus, and somehow they manage to basically reconvene back at Kyle Field. So they know where Sammy is. Sammy's behind a big ass door, and it's just this game of tag in the middle of the night in January, which sounds just miserable.
It's
So
like whack-a-mole.
yeah, very
One
much so.
pops up here and runs around, and
So at this point, they decide, you know what, time for sneakiness is over. We're gonna go, just brute force. At least five members of the OPA are football players. They commandeer fire extinguishers and more crowbars. They go back to the armory. They block the doors into the building with their vehicles. With they park the cars in front of the doors, preventing watchmen from coming in. And they all go in. They all charge up to the third floor, and the football players, just by sheer force, just ram this door down and find Sammy. They find, just to remind you, a 200-pound bag of sawdust, and they drag into it. I mean, just consider carrying a 200-pound bag that's that size in that picture. How unwieldy this is. They drag him down, throw him in the Hudson, and they start to pull away. One of the watchmen starts firing his gun, basically in the air, just to alert campus so something's going on. But at this point, they're excited, they're pumped up. This is just a huge fuck you to A&M. They're doing donuts, they're yelling and screaming and honking their horns. Fuck you, fuck you. One of them gets out and paints 20-0 on a couple of the buildings to remind Aggies of the football score in their loss to Rice that year. So that's painted on a couple of walls. And then they peel out and they leave campus. And there ends the story, and that should be fine, right? Nope.
oh,
Their excitement didn't last too long. They barely got out of town. On the way to Navasota, the headlights on both of the Fords go out. They nearly had a rear end collision as a result. They attempted to keep going with just one Ford and the Hudson, but when they'd come up, it had just been torrential rain, and the roads were in bad shape. And these cars, again, this is 100 years ago, so these vehicles just can't deal with these roads, and all these roads have to be dirt, gravel, all kinds of
mhm.
things that will
And
easily be
dark.
washed out. And then out in the country, especially, there's no damn light. The Hudson also develops a leak in its gas tank. So they're now, basically pulled off on the side of the road adjacent to some basically just woods, trying to figure out what happens next. They look up, and basically, in their horror, the late night train to Houston from A&M is going by. It's leaving College Station, and it is filled with Aggies. Um, and they were convinced that the train had already left, which is why they arrived on campus when they did. And so the train stops in Navasota, and now Navasota is basically just covered in Aggies, like hundreds of them. So the OPA takes the vehicles, rolls them down, manages to hide them in the woods, and a couple of the guys, they send a few of them. This is now basically kind of the morning of the next day. Send in a couple of them to get gas in town because someone has managed. They've tried to patch the gas tank in the Hudson, but turns out the patch doesn't work as well as they had hoped. And so now they figure, no shit, we have to take the Hudson into town to get it fixed. So they grab Sammy. They hide Sammy in the woods under guard, and then some of the OPA, I think four of the OPA stay with Sammy. Nine of these guys take the Hudson and one of the Fords to Milliken, which I think was basically a chain of auto mechanics at the time, and their worries were justified. They walk into town, managed to get the car into Milliken, but the cadets at A&M had been nice and busy organizing the pursuit. So basically, every every moving
Christ.
vehicle in College Station is pressed into service. 800 cadets are brought up in cars, wagons, buggies, motorcycles, whatever you can get. And they're basically have this endless this string of checkpoints starting in Bryan College Station, going through Navasota all the way to Hempstead because they're trying to catch these fuckers, right? Um, some of the guys actually break into the Milliken dealership and they find the vehicles, and these nine guys are there, kind of hanging out in the shop as well, and they're quote captured with the cars. Like, this Vietnam? What are you talking about? So nine of these guys are now literally being held because of all this nonsense. So somehow, in one account I read, it says the OPA members who were captured managed to get word to the four guys who were guarding Sammy. I don't know how they would have gotten word, or whether the four guarding Sammy just figured it out that these guys didn't come back fast enough, so they must have been caught. And so, I'm sorry. There are eight who are still with Sammy. So these guys grab Sammy and lug him further into the woods. But then they realize, oh well, we have no vehicles, and so there's no way to get this guy back. No way to get Sammy back to Houston in one piece. And let's just empty him of the sawdust. So they cut a slit in the bottom of Sammy, dump the sawdust out, drench the sawdust in gasoline because they don't want
Good Lord.
anyone to realize, to find the sawdust and go, oh well, they've emptied Sammy, so look for, so having an eye out for the 200-pound bag of sawdust is no longer a valid tactic anymore. So dump the sawdust out, they light it, using the gasoline makes the sawdust burn with not much smoke, but you have so many Aggies out in the woods that they see the fire and basically come running in that direction. So Sammy's skin, but the shell now is handed to the basically of the eight that are left. There are the four that are the fastest runners, including Waters, are given Sammy's skin, and are basically said, go, you have to go now, and four go in one direction and the other four go in the opposite direction, in order to basically elude capture. So that does include Jimmy Waters, and they managed to outrun them and basically just lose them in the woods, because out there between Hempstead, Navasota, all the way into Houston, farmland,
There's
there's a
nothing.
whole lot of nothing out there. And so they're just playing a big old game of chase in the woods, for basically all the afternoon of January 30th. But they're getting to a point where they're gassed because they've had nothing to eat or drink for 16 hours, 18 hours. And Waters, of course, has run a marathon at this point after all this. So the four that have the skin, they're out, probably have no idea where they are at this point. They stumble across a pair of hunters right near Navasota, and these hunters go, "Oh, it's because of you fucktards that all these Aggies are in town, isn't it? You did something wrong. This is your fucking fault." Um, because when the hunters left to go hunting, there are all these Aggies out, and they had actually been stopped on their way out of town, and their vehicle was checked by cadets. Like, who are you? Where are you going? What are you doing? And we're just hunters. We live here. Here's our ID.
And
So
they have no right to stop them in the first place.
right. So that's why this is just, I mean, again, imagine my joke at the beginning was, imagine me stealing the UTSA mascot. Also, imagine us at Trinity, going out on the Hildebrand and stopping traffic. Yeah, that's never going to happen. So they questioned the hunters. Hunters went on, but told the Aggies were coming back through at 7 p.m. So they had to sort of stick to that timeline and that story, right? The remaining four OPA members just kind of hid out in the woods and waited for these guys to sort of. They went ahead and hunted, and they didn't want to arouse suspicion. At 7 p.m., the hunters come back for the OPA members. One of the OPA guys hides in the car's toolbox, And then another actually swaps clothes with Hunter number two so he can ride in the car, impersonating him when the car goes back into town. Okay. So Hunter number two actually gets out and is hanging out with the OPA members in the woods and just going to wait out. So you have Hunter number one and two members of the OPA are in a vehicle and they're driving back into Navasota. Okay. They get stopped again on the way in. They managed to talk their way past the Aggie patrol on the way into Navasota. And the OPA, the passenger now passing himself off as a 19-year-old hunter, manages, it's fine. They get through.
Aggie Patrol.
They get through, and one of the Aggies who's out there running the patrols, hey, by the way, since I have to go into town anyway. Can I hitch a ride back into town, back into Navasota? And no problem. He gets in. It says it's a car, but he's sitting on the toolbox, so it's got to be a small truck. So the Aggie patrol guy is sitting on the toolbox with one of the members in the toolbox. Um, they get all the way into town. They drop off the hitchhiker. The hunter number one drives to his house. So it turns out hunter number one is a doctor. And so go to his house, and these two guys go into the house. There's one account here that in one article I found it doesn't cite where this what the source of this was. This came from either the Bryan College Station paper or maybe a Navasota paper, but the the crowd left out without any vehicles had a more difficult time. Quote, 300 cadets in Navasota made it impossible
Jesus Christ.
for the car to return for Payne and Waters, still out in the woods. And after waiting until a very late hour for the returning car, the second hunter hid them and went to town on foot. He was arrested. Again, you have no authority to arrest people. You're a fucking Aggie cadet. He was arrested and carried to town, but was released on proving his identity. The cadets had complete control of telephone and telegraph lines, had
Oh my
all roads
God.
blocked, and were searching all trains that passed. So all means of communication and transportation were under surveillance. Nevertheless, the second hunter called the doctor and asked, quote, "Doctor, what shall I do with those capsules you gave me?" Unquote. "Have you got them on you?" On being told that he did not, the doctor replied, I shall be right over and bring you some new ones right away. Again, all this cloak and dagger shit for something this stupid. So the two hunting buddies bring in a third friend to help kind of complete this because they think that, I mean, I'm sure they're just wildly amused by all of this. So the doctor went back to his house to keep prying eyes from looking into his house and trying to find the two guys that he had there. And the other two hopped in the car and drove at 60 miles an hour back to get the other two members hiding in the woods. And when they came back through, they blasted through one of the Aggie blockades so fast they eluded pursuit. They just ran through it. But, fuck you! It kept going. So they picked up the other two remaining OP members and headed back to Navasota, and they got the two capsules that were dropped off at the doctor's house, and then the third man drove off to lead pursuers away. So again, another account from that paper, quote, at 3:30 a.m. Thursday morning, the doctor was called to the telephone, quote, "Doctor, my wife is very ill and needs
Wait,
immediate."
what? I'm sorry. Go back. What time did they call him?
3:30 in the morning. My car is out of order, but if you can come for me in yours, I shall glad to come over. They're doing all this because they know people are listening to them, right?
Sure.
The third man arrived in his car 30 minutes later. Now the four OP members who had been in the woods and who have Sammy or who are going to go get Sammy, get in the car and start to Houston. No, at this point, they do have Sammy with them. They have Sammy's skin. They somehow managed to evade the last few centuries to Hempstead, and they make it all the way back to Rice, arriving at 7:30 a.m. Thursday morning. So they've been gone like 36 hours to do this. Okay. But you recall we have 13 members of the OPA who are being held captive in this war back in Navasota. The Aggies,
Oh, because they recruited four more guys. That's
former
right. So it's
guys,
up
right?
to 17 total.
Right. So the nine who walked in, and so 13 guys are genuinely being held, and the Aggies held them in College Station, and then the Rice president at the time petitioned A&M and said, "Yeah, come on, guys. I mean, you can't. What are you doing? You have to let them go." And so they were released and went home and reported they were generally treated well by their captors. The only one who may not have been treated all that well was private investigator Snowball, because he was still around for all this, at least in some capacity.
Oh yeah, that
Snowball,
guy.
yeah, detective. Snowball was paraded around campus, around the A&M campus, given a regulation Army haircut, and turned over to the freshmen for a few days. He was eventually taken to the station late at night, minus his clothes, and told to catch the train. It was said he wasted no time getting aboard. And that is the completely fucking bonkers story of Sammy the Rice Owl.
Just the okay. This is like missing scenes from It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, right? I mean, this is just
Right.
bonkers. You know, he's going to science. They're taking the mascot is showing up in science classes at A&M. So,
They
gentlemen,
made him a
I hope
general,
you
and they gave him a sword, and then he held court, and then
gentlemen, I hope that you've read up on Charles Darwin, and then for the back of the ooh, ooh, Charles Darwin, you should know who he is. Yeah.
so the tales of mascots evolved over time. So at the time, it was very common to have a big stuffed something as a mascot.
Oh God.
The Sammy the Rice Owl was stolen at least one other time, I think in the 30s, also by A&M. But there's all kinds of hijinks like that. I mean, A&M comes and fucks with Bevo at UT occasionally, over the decades. Bevo got branded one time with the score of some game, and so guys, it's very much the bro frat culture who loves this shit. It's like, but in 1917, 800 cadets, or at one account, 1,200 cadets, just took over the town. Why are you here? Like, say it again. You know that what you're saying is crazy, right?
And they hand the detective over to freshmen who have probably been
Kept
tortured
him
for
for a
their
few
first
days.
4 or 5 months of their college career. They're like, all right, now we got someone we can mess with.
Right.
Let's fuck this guy up.
Right. Had never been invented yet. We're gonna get some of that, and we're gonna torture this guy, Detective Snowball.
Ryan, how did I live so much of my life in Texas and never hear this fucking story? This is
So pretty damn funny. So this actually comes courteous of sort of friend of the pod, although friend, kind of friend, Riley Francis.
oh, okay,
He
great.
does, he doesn't actually know he contributed this story, but I have to give him credit. I will give him credit for this is something he posted online a while back that I saw, and like, wow, that's pretty fucking funny. I gotta use that.
I met him a million years ago on campus at
Mm.
Trinity. My God, that is
And I ran into him completely by accident about a month ago.
uh, well, I really don't know what to say except this would be a hell of a movie, like a Coen Brothers directed movie. I mean, that would
Hmm.
be just
Yeah, I
absolutely.
was actually I was thinking about I need this story needs to be turned into a screenplay, and someone needs to make fucking sure that Matthew McConaughey is not in it, and trying to think of who would play these guys. I don't know. Mm.
Well, in the old days, you would like. I mean, clearly the guards have to be someone like Jack Black or someone like that, and
Right.
someone with just insane. My God, but if you grow up in tech, for our listeners who aren't Texans, you really kind of appreciate the story more if you know exactly, or if you know personally any Aggies.
Mhm.
It's just very much an Aggie thing, I think. And I'm speaking as someone who has lots of friends and several relatives who are Aggies, and it's just a mindset that um,
Mind fuck. Yeah.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. You said that. Um, it's just something that if you don't get it, you don't get it. And
Yeah.
wow, that's bonkers. I was thinking you're going to tell me they got caught on campus because they forgot to doff their hats to the campus dog,
Right.
Miss Revel. Because
There's some other horseshit
well, they
horseshit
used
tradition
to.
they didn't know about.
I don't know if this is still the case, but if you were on campus and you were in uniform and you had to doff your cap to the school mascot, Miss Reveille, the collie dog, and say
Mm,
"Howdy, Miss Reveille, ma'am," or you would get in trouble.
right.
So, and the sawdust, that's where they got the idea for the bonfire at
Hmm.
A&M.
So there you have it. Just a year-end story of complete stupidity, but pretty funny.
It is very funny, Bryan. That's I try to get my wife to listen to certain episodes. This will have to be one that, you know,
Okay.
she at least listens to your half because that is hilarious. Oh man. All right, folks. If you're out there getting ready to go out for New Year's, be careful, or better yet, just stay inside.
Yep.
Um,
Ride shares
I
are your friend.
I don't have a lot of hope for 2025, but
Why?
you never know.
Right. Yep. Thanks for listening, folks. We do appreciate it. Again, if you can, give us 5 stars on whichever platform you're listening to us on. Shoot us a review if you can. That helps us out. Drop us a line at dreamidiots.podcast@gmail.com. You can check us out on dreamidiots.com. Buy a t-shirt if you want. And then we are on Facebook and Instagram. I need to do some posting there, like bad, like really badly. We are at Dream Idiots. And thanks a lot for doing everything. And we appreciate you tagging along.
And now and in the new year, be good to each other.